the only brief that I got from him. I want a masked crime fighter, vigilante character. I was originally asked to write and draw it myself, but I was working with Alan. I'd worked with Alan in Doctor Who magazine, Marvel, and he was a great writer. And I knew that if we worked together on it, it'd be much better than if I just worked on it myself. So I basically asked Alan if he was happy to sort of collaborate on it, and he said, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea." And Alan was already on board Warrior through Marvel Man, because he was doing Marvel Man, an update of Marvel Man. So anyway, we started working on it, and we both, before V, had come up with two ideas about the same sort of concept: a urban guerrilla fighting a fascist dictatorship in a future Britain. Now. Neither of those stories had been able to sell. I'd just done one as a sort of like a pilot thing for a French company. Alan had done something that he'd never got round to selling. But they were both ideas about the same thing. So we thought, well, okay, well, let's do that. Let's do something like that. Let's do that for Warrior, for this character. So Alan constructed this fantastic landscape, this fantastic outline of a future fascist Britain might look like, what it was constructed of, what it was like. And then you had this basic urban guerrilla fighting a resistance fighter, if you like. But that was all we had. You know, Alan constructed a basic background that he was in a concentration camp and, you know, had been experimented on and now he sought vengeance, blah, blah, blah. Which was that. But we didn't know anything more. We didn't know anything more about his motivations, really, than wreaking vengeance, or what he looked like, or how he was going to dress, or, you know. So we came up with a couple of ideas, but none of them really worked for us. And then just one quiet Sunday afternoon, when I was just like brainstorming, I thought, why don't we bring him back as Guy Fawkes? Because Guy Fawkes was a British revolutionary, a real character who failed. Well, let's bring him back as a kind of resurrection. But he succeeds this time. You know, he failed to blow up the Houses of Parliament. This time he wins. He actually does blow up the Houses of Parliament as a spirit of modern day rebellion. So we bring him back, a past hero of rebellion. We'll bring him back to this future, as if he's been dragged back from the future, from the past. So that's basically how it happened.
Wow. Awesome. And how do you sort of feel, it's become really iconic now. How do you feel about it? Did you have any idea it would be, so well received, or?
No, the success of V in British terms, when it started first being published, I wasn't surprised by its success, because we knew we were doing a great story, and it looked great, and we knew that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised then. When it was reprinted and continued in America, that was a different kettle of fish, because he looked stranger than any of the other American superhero types. He was extraordinarily bizarre for that market. So I thought I didn't really know how it would react. And in fact, when it was first published, we didn't get a lot of promotion. We didn't get the promotion. We came after Watchmen. Watchmen got all the publicity. And V came out as a sort of like an also-ran, effectively. But it grew gradually, and people, took to it. But I think it became most successful when it was made into a graphic novel, when it was collected and sold as a graphic novel. Then it really became very successful.
Yeah. And
constantly successful, and then every country wanted to publish it, and then it became global. But I was certainly, so I'm not surprised at the end of the day about how successful it is as a story. But of course, the way the mask has become a symbol, that's amazing. But let's face it, it's the movie that's as much as important for that.
Yeah. And what's your opinion on the movie? I mean, were you pleased with that?
Yeah, I thought the movie was a very good movie, and very powerful piece of filmmaking. I mean, in an ideal world, you would imagine, as I'm the creator of the original, it would have been better if it was like much closer to the original.
Yeah.
But I'm very accepting of that whole movie, and I supported it when it came out because they made a good movie.
Yeah.
And I wish to say to people, if before the movie was made, there were lots of screenplays written before, or at least 3, I think, 2 actually, before the last one.
Yeah.
People would ask me, what do how do you feel about it? And my attitude was always, look, as long as I make a good movie of it, then that's fine, because it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
You're dealing with Hollywood. You can't expect these creatives to turn what you've done into some perfect carbon copy. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So as long as they make a good movie, that's it.
Yeah. And what do you think? Like the mask has been sort of used in real life, sort of rebellion now, like with the Occupy London. What do you think about people doing that? Are you?
Well, I think that's fine. I mean, it's everybody that I see is using for what they perceive as good purposes, in resistance to what they perceive as some kind of tyranny.
Yeah.
And so that's fine. I mean, you can have your individual viewpoints about the validity or the political value of organisations like Anonymous, but Occupy is certainly, of course, a great organisation. It's probably one of the most important people's movements we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it hasn't had the coverage or the success that it should have. I mean, it's been too easily suppressed as a sort of like a people's movement. And I don't know what the future of it will be, really. But the use of the mask everywhere. I mean, it's used everywhere anyway.
Yeah.
It's in political. It's been used in Egypt. It's been used in China. It's been used everywhere. And it's just an all-purpose symbol of resistance to oppression everywhere, which is great.
Yeah, brilliant. And also, can you tell us a bit about Aces Weekly, which your new digital comic anthology?
Yeah, it's the first thing I'd like to say is that we won an award last night here.
Oh, brilliant! Wow.
We were nominated for the best web-based comic, and we won it last night.
Congratulations!
So we got a nice award. That's 2. That's a second.
Yeah.
We were nominated by we were voted by Pipestream Comics best digital comic of 2013. So that's 2 we've got now. So that's it's a nice endorsement.
Yeah.
But basically, Aces Weekly is an online digital comic art magazine. We're just on screen. We just put great comic art on screen instead of on paper. That's almost simply what we do.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that we have that our creators have done, which is similar to kind of motion comics, but not really. And basically, what we're doing is just putting great comic art on screen. Reason we do it? Well, for a start, because it's easy. Second, because it is the best way of the creator getting benefit. Because there's no reason in the 21st century why we need a printing press. The only reason why anybody used a printing press in the past for ideas or images, the only reason that was used was because you had to make a deal with the publisher in order to get it printed, because creators don't have much money usually.
Yeah.
So you had to. Now you don't need that. Now you have this thing called the computer and the internet, which means you can get out to readers, consumers immediately and easily without any of that stuff. You don't need printing, shipping, warehousing or distribution or retail at all.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's tell stories on screen, cut out the paper, make everything easy. The creators benefit, the buyer benefits because you get it at a cheaper price because we don't have to pay printers and distributors. So let's do it, but it's pioneer territory.
Yeah.
We're getting lots of resistance from people who just love their comics and love that tactile thing. And I understand that because I grew up with the same way. I grew up with those.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in the future of the creator and the creator benefits. And this is an easy way of getting to people. The art looks fantastic on screen. We never have any printing troubles, of course, because what you see is what you get. We just scan it, and there it goes in the screen. And the other great thing is you can make it big. All TVs are smart now. You can put it on your plasma. Put it on your plasma, right? It looks fantastic. Just as it looks fantastic on iPad, or it will go down to Android. It'll go down to that 8 inches maybe.
Yeah,
but
any
not
size.
lower. And if you want it on your phone, you can even do that, because we have 2 volumes on Comixology being sold as collections, and there you can download it so you can read it on the bus. I mean, through our website you have to access it. You have to be connected.
Yeah.
But if you buy the volumes in Comixology, you can download it so you can read it on the bus if you want to, and you can read it on your phone because they have the guided view situation.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
So we can reach people and talk to them and without anybody in between.
Yeah. So that's the way forward for comics.
Well, hopefully,
Yeah.
but we need people to drop their resistance to it.
Yes.
And accept what we're giving them. But we're trying. We keep on pushing, and our level of success is just growing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.